Hi guys, today we're going to review some mean, median, mode, and range, and then we're going to do some probabilities, and then we're going to learn to convert time units. So let's start off with mean, median, mode, range. This seems familiar, but just to make sure that you guys do this one correctly, let's do some touch-up or refreshing of the definitions. Mean is the average, which means that we find the total or the sum of all the numbers, and then we divide it by the total numbers that were given. And then median is just the middle number. Mode is the most number used or seen in the given set. And then range is just simply largest number minus the smallest number. So when you're doing mean, median, mode, and range, it's best to put your numbers in order from least to greatest, which I have right here for number 5. So just to get the longest one out of the way, let's do mean. So let's do 22 plus 35, which is 757, plus 44, 110, plus 63, 461, plus another 63, 7, 2, so 227, plus 71, 892, plus 80, 871, 378, plus 92, 0, 1, that's 17, and that is 4. So we get a total sum of 470. And just to make sure, I'll put it in a calculator to make sure that my calculations are correct. And it looks like my calculations are indeed correct. Now that we have found the sum of all the numbers, we have to divide it by the total numbers given. So let's count. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. We have a total number of 8 numbers given to us. So let's divide 470 by 8. So 8 times 6 gives us 48, right? But that's a bit too low, since that's going to be 48 is higher than 47, which 47 is less than, so we can't use 6, but we can use 5. And then 5 can go into 47. 5 times 8 is 40, so 47 minus 47 minus 40 is 7. And then we bring down the 0. And then 8 times 9 is 72, so 9 won't work, so we go 1 down, we get 8. 70 minus 64 will give us, let's look, 10, 6, and that should be 6. So that's 0. We put a decimal point here, decimal point on top then. We put a 0 right here, and we bring down the 0. So we get 60. 8 can go into 60. Let's see, not 8, because that's higher than 60. Looks like 7, since 7 times 8 equals 56, which gives us 4. We bring up another 0, bring down another 0, and 8 can go into 40 5 times, and that should cancel out completely. So our mean will be, 58.75. Let's move this on top. Okay, there we go. Now we can find the mode. So the mode is, once again, just the most numbers seen. So 63 is seen twice, so 63 will be our answer. Next is range. So it's the largest number minus the smallest. So 92 minus 22 is just 70. Next is the median. So the median, we are just going to cross out the same numbers the same amount of numbers on both sides until we get at least 1 or 2 numbers in the middle. So let's do that. So cross out 22, cross out 90, cross out 35, cross out 80, cross out 44, cross out 70. So we're left with 2 63s, and in this case we're lucky because we're given 2 of the same numbers, so our median will be 63. But in cases where they give you 2 different numbers in the middle, then we would have to add them and then divide it by 2 to get the median. So when you're doing this worksheet, just remember your definitions right here. Next is going to be probability. Number 2 gives us a number is chosen at random from 1 through 10. Find the probability of selecting a multiple of 3. So to do this, let's just write down the sets in the numbers in a set of 1 through 10. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So once we have that down, we're going to find the multiples of 3. So let's start off with 3 times 3. There's 3 right there. 3 times 2, 6 right there. 3 times 3, and 9. I'm sorry, did I say 3 times 3? I meant 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3 right here. There you go. And then we can try for 3 times 4, but that'll give us 12, and that's outside the random numbers from 1 through 10. So in total, we have 3 multiples in a set of 1 through 10. So now that we have our top number, our numerator, we need to find the denominator, and we do that by counting the numbers in the set of 1 through 10. In this case, we're lucky because there's just 10 numbers in total. So our answer will be 3 over 10. But now this is probability, so you can either leave it as a fraction or convert it to a percent. And in this case, since it's 3 over 10, 10 is a multiple of 100, so we just multiply top and bottom by 10, and we should get 30 over 100, or in other words, 30%. Once again, for this worksheet right here, you can put it in fractions or percents. Moving on, we're going to work on some converting time units. So when you do this, you need to know your conversions. So you need to know, especially in this one, it looks like it's focusing more on like time. So we're going to write that down right here. Let's write it down. What you need to know is that there's 24 hours in one day. And then there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. And I think that's all you need to know for this specific worksheet. So keeping that in mind, let's do converting shorter or longer time units. So the first one gives us hours in 3 days. So we need to find out how many hours are in 3 days. So to do this, let's look at this conversion key right here. We see that we want to find hours. So we have hours and hours right here, but we're trying to find it in how many hours in 3 days. So we're going to look at specifically the top one, which says there are 24 hours in 1 day, right? But we're given 3 days. And we're trying to find the total number of hours, right? And hours is smaller than days, so we're going to multiply 24 by 3 to get the total number of hours, which gives us 2 and 1, which gives us 72. So there are 72 hours in 3 days. Let's look at the next one. How many days are in 24 hours? Now, would you look at that? This one's actually pretty easy because we're trying to find out how many days equals 24 hours. And we said right here, 24 hours equals 1 day. So our answer will be 1 right here. Let's move on. It's the same exact worksheet. Well, not the same exact worksheet. It's the same exact concept, but just more questions. So let's do a little bit more review. In this case, let's look at the minutes in 5:40 seconds. I'll copy this one right here onto right here in this slide. Oh, if it will let me. Oh, it looks like it won't let me. So let's just keep that in mind. We're trying to figure out how many minutes are in 540 seconds, right? So we said earlier that 1 minute equals 60 seconds, right? So that's what we're going to use right here. But in this case, we're given 540 seconds, and we're trying to find out how many minutes go into 540 seconds. So we're given a total of 540, but we know that there's only 60 seconds in 1 minute. So that's what we're going to divide by. So let's divide that. In this case, we can cancel out the zeros. This isn't a trick or like a shortcut to dividing. And then we'll just be looking at 54 divided by 6, which is just 9. And if you don't like this way, you can always do the old-fashioned. But here's me just checking my work. 60 times 9 equals, look at that, 540. So there will be 9 minutes and 540 seconds. The second question wants us to find how many minutes are in 240 seconds. So it's the same concept basically, but we're given a different number of seconds. So we're given 240 seconds, and we know that there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. So once again, we can cancel out the zeros, and we're left with 24 divided by 6, which is just 4. And when you multiply 60 and 4, you should get 240. So there are 4 minutes and 240 seconds. So once again, for the last 2 worksheets, look back to this chart to solve your answer.